So absolutely, she's one of the highlights, I would say, of the cabinets of the Liberal Party.
Yeah, it's going to be more of the same, unfortunately. Yeah, well, we just had 10 years of really bad government, so how is anything going to be any better?
So I'm going to get my British butt out of this country as fast as I can because I haven't met one satisfied Canadian so far.
I mean, you know where Canada was going. They were going to become a 51st state.
Alexa here for Rebel News, live in Ottawa, right after Mark Carney revealed his new cabinet lineup. Shockingly, or maybe not, more than half of the ministers come straight from Trudeau's whole cabinet. The same people who helped drive this country into crisis. Take Sean Fraser, for example. Under his watch, housing became unaffordable and immigration completely unmanageable. Yet, here he is, still in power.
If your truck is being used in these protests, your corporate accounts will be frozen. The insurance on your vehicle will be suspended. The consequences are real, and they will bite. It is time for you to go home.
Then there is Chrystia Freeland, who froze the bank accounts of peaceful protesters and seriously told Canadians to cancel Disney Plus to deal with inflation.
And I think Canadian families are looking really closely at all of their expenses. I personally, as a mother and wife, look carefully at my credit card bill once a month. And last Sunday, I said to the kids, you're older now, you don't want to watch Disney anymore. Let's cut that Disney Plus subscription. So we cut it. It's only $13.99 a month that we're saving, but every little bit helps.
She's now been named as Minister of Transport and Internal Trade. Ironically, she apparently doesn't own a car, but was caught speeding in Alberta.
Premier Smith is saying that you're anti-pipeline still. What do you say in response to her concerns just about broadly about the cabinet? And how do you deal with national unity? How do you address that right now?
So on pipelines, people should remember that we bought a pipeline, Trans Mountain, and that is only used right now about 40% capacity. So I think before we start talking about building an entire new pipeline, maybe we should maximize the use of existing infrastructure. And the Canadian Energy Regulator, as well as the International Energy Agency, are telling us that probably by 2028, 2029, demand for oil will peak globally, and it will also peak in Canada. So as far as I know, there are no investors right now. There are no companies that are saying that they want to build an east-west pipeline. And as you know, these things are built by companies, not government.
Stephen Guilbeault, the radical former Greenpeace activist, is also back. He waged war on Alberta's oil and gas sector and forced his extreme net zero agenda down the country's throat, all while proudly defending the carbon tax that's crippling working Canadians. And François-Philippe Champagne, yes, the same guy who borrowed money from a Chinese Communist Party-controlled bank, is now our finance minister. You can't make this up. So the question is, are Canadians okay with them back into Mark Carney's cabinet? Let's go and find out what people on the street of Ottawa really think. Chrystia Freeland is still in the cabinet as the Minister of Transport and Internal Trade. Are you happy to see Madame Freeland back into office in the cabinet?
We're from the United States.
Oh, you don't know?
No.
I know
sorry.
Mark Carney is the Prime Minister, and
Yeah.
I know he's stuck it to Trump, which is really...
Which we're glad to see.
Yeah, and really the T is silent. It ought to be pronounced rump, okay?
My goodness, that's news to me. Yes, I think she's served well in the past, and it's good to see her continuing. I thought she was forceful in pursuing the policies she thought were best, and forceful is what Canada needs now.
No, she's terrible. I don't think she really understands any of the portfolios. I think it's just more like a show cabinet member. Personally, like her background and stuff, I don't think she's qualified to be doing half of the portfolios she's had.
She's certainly qualified. She's been in government before. Yes, we need people with experience.
I don't really care. I think that she was the best choice for the job. The Prime Minister Carney thought that felt she was the best for the job. Then great.
Yeah, given that they're related through their children, he's her daughter's godfather. Is that a favor, or is that just I don't know? It's with Christian being there. I don't know. There's speculation she's going to go somewhere else,
But yeah, I think she's quite an intelligent person. She did quite a bit of work in the last 8 years that were successful for Canada. So absolutely, she's one of the highlights, I would say, of the cabinets of the Liberal Party.
I mean, as Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Finance before, she did a horrible job. She broke that deal with Trump. He just a few days ago, he came out and basically said, with I think it was not Mark Carney in the room, but there was a couple of other people in the room from the cabinet or whatever. He said he was making a deal about how she did such a bad job, and then she's put in. It doesn't look good.
I'm from Florida.
Oh, you're from the U.S.
Yeah,
What did
from
you
the
think
US.
about the meeting of Mark Carney and Donald Trump?
I thought it was there was a little friction there, and they were trying to be passive and not really address what they really wanted to address. But I feel that we're neighbors and that we should be in a better place like we were before, and there's no need to be at odds for somebody who's right next door to you and who's so similar. We have more in common than we have differences, and
I think he's going to be doing a good job. At least he stood up to Donald Trump, and he's the only Prime Minister who can do it.
Another one that was appointed too is Stephen Guilbeault. Are you happy that he's still into the cabinet?
No, I can't see anything good coming from a radical environmentalist personally. So, no, I don't think he can be middle of the road on anything. I think he's always tainted with his...
Yeah, they didn't get rid of him. They didn't get rid of him.
That means we don't like him.
Again, I'm a public servant first and foremost, so to me, whoever they want to put into certain roles is within their rights to do so.
What a great representative to speak on behalf of our culture, isn't it? Shut down all of our oil and our resources, and
even more controversial. He has a criminal record.
Are you happy that he's still into the cabinet and?
No, I don't know. It's interesting. Interesting to think about it. Do you just throw him out because he had a criminal past, or do you try to persuade him to become more, center politician? Maybe. Is there a way of trying to calm him down? Potentially. Who knows? Responsible for Canadian culture. That means all Canadian culture, not just Quebecois culture. First Nations culture. Immigrants' culture, everybody's culture. So maybe he has to. We'll see. That's a very interesting choice, but I think why Christia's in the cabinet is because Donald Trump doesn't like her. So on purpose, I think she's there just to think about that.
I mean, it would be a waste to not utilize these MPs that have done quite a bit of work in the last 10 years as MP, as parts of the cabinet.
So my first question about Chrystia Freeland and Stephen Guilbeault, if people are happy to see them back into office and as minister, but seem that nobody know really who they are. Chrystia Freeland?
I have no idea who you're talking about.
Oh, she was the finance minister.
Okay.
The former finance minister.
Don't know anything about him. Sorry, who?
Chrystia Freeland, the former finance minister.
I don't really have an opinion.
No? Do you know Stephen Guilbeault, the former environment minister?
No, I don't.
No.
That one I don't know so well.
You don't know Stephen Guilbeault, the environment minister? Peace activist that now was the environment minister.
No.
We know that the number of cabinet, we are down to 28, but on the 28th, we have more than half that's coming from Trudeau's cabinet.
Sure.
Do you expect any change for the good?
Well, with the new leader, hopefully, yes. I could see him being more centrist than Trudeau was, and then with the other cabinet, so maybe Carney's going to push that needle a little bit more to the center.
Well, since the Prime Minister's new, I think it probably is a good idea to have some continuity. And so half and half is fine by me.
Yeah, it's going to be more of the same, unfortunately. Yeah, well, we just had 10 years of really bad government, so how is anything going to be any better?
Not if they're still there. No. No.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, there's not going to be change, especially if they're still there.
We had enough with Trudeau as it is, but we'll see what happens.
Same if it's like half the same cabinet?
No, I think they should. I think Mark Carney should have a new cabinet with new ministers. See what they can do.
No, we can't have that. I mean, you know where Canada was going. They were going to become a 51st state. If Canada doesn't get its together right now, it's going to be a 51st state and there won't be a country to save. But, you know, America's doing a lot better economically. I just want Canada to get that without being a 51st state. You know, fun place to live in the summer. In the winter, it's too cold, you know. I'm from the Caribbean, but I still have hope.
Yeah?
Yeah, man.
What do you think you should tackle first, other than the tariff?
I think one of the problems we have is that we're relying too much on the United States. So I think besides the tariffs, I hope the Liberal Party concentrates on expanding our economic ties with the rest of the world, really, starting with Europe. I mean, for example, we don't have a free trade agreement with Australia and New Zealand. So that should be a really easy win, I think.
Budget deficit.
Yeah.
And natural resource exploration, for sure.
I think maybe just like bring more people from other countries. I think this maybe there are people that are in trouble. I don't know if the world right now is going on and people want to come in, but like we have too much going on. So I feel like we just got to bring more people to help them as much as you can.
Military, I think. Get a lot of Lockheed Martin planes, you know, that type of stuff. Not the cheap deal he did.
Housing. I think that's a big one.
Taxes, probably.
Taxes? What about you?
Sure, taxes. I would say people coming into the country, immigration is get to be a problem.
Attendez comme, mettons, résultat ou...
Hey, f*** you, Rebel News, you're full of shit!
été appointé ministre de l'identité et de la culture.
Move along. You're ruining our business. Our customers are complaining. We don't want to be in your shot. Please move along.
I have the right. It's a public space. I'm sorry.
Please move along.
I'm doing my job. I'm moving in a minute. If you want to see all our reports, go over thecarneyfiles.com because we will expose Mark Carney's record, and you want to get informed, you want to know what the legacy media and mainstream media refuse to tell you. So go over thecarneyfiles.com.